Groundwater, the largest fresh water of 98%, is depended upon by at least 50% of the world's population. The resource is accessed through drilling of wells or boreholes in the ground. However, with such a high demand, access to the resource is often limited by breakdowns of the water systems resulting from failed boreholes. Drilled water wells are vital to achieving universal, clean drinking water. In 2018 and 2019, under the umbrella of the Rural Water Supply Network, online courses on professional drilling management were held to improve service provision by those involved in drilling projects. The courses were intended for water sector professionals. Thanks to these two courses, 172 people from 57 countries were successfully trained through the CapNet virtual campus. And so, let's hear from 6 people around the world and how they applied their learning, impacting not only them, but on drilling professionalism in their organizations and beyond. Let us take a trip to Nepal and find out how and if the training changed drilling management.
My full name is Dharma Ratna Chitrakar. I work in Water Nepal in a country program, Nepal, as a technical manager. Actually, I took the course, it was from March till July in 2019. I had a very limited, a kind of confidence over the boreholes and the groundwater itself because it was pumping a lot of sand. But the demonstration, what we have successfully did in 2020, I realized that the boreholes can be achieved with a good quality standard if we follow properly these specifications. And we also realized not only having these specifications in place, the full-time hydrogeological supervision support is also equally important.
In Nepal, since Dharma took the course, WaterAid has supported the Lahan municipality to improve access to water for residents through borehole drilling to replace existing dysfunctional boreholes. Moving on to Uganda, we meet Ayebale Ared, who works as a drilling supervisor for Velt Hunger Hilfe to improve access to safe drinking water in the rural communities of Uganda.
I got interest to pick up, and if there is a chance of training and understand a little more about water well drilling in a professional way. And also I had a feeling that I would connect to the world's best water resources engineers, consultants, and so on. So I applied on a professional note to understand drilling properly, and then to also get more connections around the world.
Ayebale has also observed that by reforming contracts, that contractors have been willing to try to drill in difficult areas and have managed to successfully drill in areas where people have been trying for the last 12 years and had no water.
I must say the course was beautiful because it handled every aspect right from Module 1, which was about siting, and the rest down to Module 5. All these things we have been kind of doing them, but shortcutting here and there. Sometimes you would do things, but you don't know the why aspect. And usually in engineering, we prefer that for you to be a solution to a problem, you need to know why you must be doing what you are doing. So to me, it made a difference. It really made a difference. And I see now work moves on smoothly. And of course, also understanding the roles of a supervisor, I came to understand and also talk to my superiors the needs for quality work, quality boreholes.
In the southern part of Africa, in Zimbabwe, we meet Bezel.
My name is Bezel Garedondo, a Zimbabwean working in Zimbabwe at the moment. I hold the position of the field office engineer. We drill bores for water supply to these gardens. So, I can say for the past years, the focus has been more on drilling of bores as the main water sources instead of the other options that include construction of well dams or water harvesting in some cases. The course gave us detailed steps in monitoring the borehole drilling processes. They also provided us with detailed steps on what to watch out for, who to involve, who to engage when drilling the boreholes. So yeah, all that content, it was very helpful in my day-to-day work, especially when we deal with borehole drilling, and also in general, just when we work with different stakeholders or engage the community for the different projects that we implement.
Sharing a border with Zimbabwe is Zambia, where Adamson, a committed engineer, manages WASH projects under the Water Aid organization.
I am Adamson Sakala from Water Aid Zambia. I did indeed participate in a number of things. I did hold a webinar to share the procurement process that we had improved following this training. We had to look at how were we procuring these things. So the step-by-step processes, I did share that at the global level. The other things that we looked at were drilling supervision, how to strengthen the role of supervisors in these things, and also the involvement of the community as monitors. So we have not only done that on drilling processes, we've gone on even to do more of this. I do train the trainers of trainers to support the districts in some of these processes. So like community trainings to train the community in terms of things to look for.
On a global note, Tara shares her experience as a program support advisor for Water Aid globally.
My name's Tara Bartek. I learned a lot, and I think having taken that course made me a lot more confident when I started off having conversations about borehole drilling internally, but also these conversations have been engaged with in the wider sector and through RWSN externally. I think it was also a good way of being introduced to all of the documentation and the guidance and the videos that are available on this topic. And I've referred to them so many times through my work since. So like the UNICEF toolkit and all of the RWSN guides. There's like the code of practice, and there's the guide on supervision and the guide on procurement and contract management. So yeah, I thought that was really useful to have those links to these kind of core materials on it. There were things like for siting, for example, problems with not defining the methodology for siting enough, like the contract documents for consultants to do the siting. There were issues with the contracts, like things that needed to be tightened up.
Crossing over the oceans to the American continent, where we hear from Camille Clark from Jamaica.
My name is Camille Clark. My dream job has always been to be a geologist, a hydrogeologist, in fact. So I did geology hoping to get into the industry. But after 2008, with it was a global recession, the jobs in, that area kind of went downhill. So that's how I started to teach. But I still held on to my dream of being a geologist. So I joined various organizations, just basically keeping the dream alive. So I joined the International Association of Hydrogeologists, and, following their pages and stuff, that's where I saw the course, and that's when I applied for it. Coming out of that, having that experience, I was able to go up and I got some insight for planning project for my students. As a teacher, I believe we have a greater impact on our students when we can talk about how the subject that we teach, how it's relevant in the real world. Because we teach subjects, we teach about volcanoes and earthquakes, and a lot of times they're not able to tell our kids, why is this relevant?
The 2018 and 2019 online courses on professional drilling management have made significant impact at individual, organizational, national, and global levels. These courses were made possible by a number of donors. Going forward, An even bigger partnership is evolving to try and enable these courses to continue into the future.